Hey, welcome back to Bigger Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Justin Stoddard, where my mission is to help you grow so that your business can grow and your life can get better and the impact that you have in the world can be better. So I'm excited to be here today to talk about a topic that every real estate agent knows they need to be good at. Some of you are good at it. Some of you probably still want to be better at it. And that's probably true of everybody as well. But the topic is negotiation. And I think every consumer out there that hires a real estate agent, in large part, expects you to be good at this. And so I'm excited to have someone with me here today who I admire greatly. He's become a good friend of mine and just a wonderful person and a great leader. So let's start off by thanking Laurie Thiel, president of RE/MAX Equity Group, for being with us here this morning.
Thanks, Jason. Those are such amazing words and very kind of you.
Well, I meant them, and it's true. So let's get into this, Laurie. In fact, before I do that, for those of you who don't know Laurie, I know there's an audience outside of the Portland metro area, and I think it'd be hard pressed to say that people here in the area don't know who you are. But just in case, Laurie, you've been in the business, in the real estate industry since 1992. Got your license, built a successful real estate business. I know, very relational, business by referral, and you built a great business in the process. So much that RE/MAX Equity Group tapped you about 7 years ago to kind of step into a leadership role. Is that right?
That's right. I managed one of our largest offices out of Lake Oswego and helped coach, mentor, and grow those agents so they could have a really successful real estate career.
Perfect. Paying it forward. I love it.
Yeah.
And then at that point, just about 7 months ago, you were tapped for even a bigger responsibility. Did that surprise you at all, Laurie, or were you like, that was kind of the next step?
Well, I was interested. I didn't think it would be as soon as it became available. And, but when you're given that opportunity, you have to run with it and see what you can do with it.
Yeah. Well, I know there were a lot of people pumping their fists saying, that's a great move. Good job, RE/MAX Equity Group. You got a good one. So I was one of those people. So anyway, again, let's dive back into the topic here, negotiation. Laurie, obviously you've been on all sides of the table of negotiation as an agent, as a leader. And I would venture to say that you've had some practice negotiating.
I have. So when you are in real estate, as long as I've been, 25 plus years, you realize that you negotiate really at every turn, whether it's, you're attempting to help a seller sell their property or a buyer buy a home, but even home inspectors and contract workers and admin assistants. Every little piece of what you do is negotiations. And I think I learned a lot of that through raising my children, because you're negotiating with your kids every day. And they teach you a lot on how to do it at the professional level.
It's funny you say that. I was actually in the back of my mind, I was going to throw that in there. Now you've also had teenage daughters. And so I know you've gotten very good at that. And it's amazing how good children are naturally at negotiating. Like my oldest daughter, she's relentless, but she's so good. She knows when to stop, when to listen, and how to take a different angle and make a different offer. It's innate. It's amazing.
It is. And somewhere we lose that ability. So we have to regain that as an agent to help those buyers and sellers.
Let's talk about, maybe if you could give us 2 points, Laurie, that would help those listening to be better negotiators. Let's maybe start with the first one. What would be maybe the first thing that you would say that would help us?
Well, I think you mentioned it when you were talking about your children, is you have to stop and listen. Sometimes we're thinking about what our response is going to be, so we're not really hearing what the other side is saying, whether it's the other realtor or your client. You have to stop and you really have to listen. And I think that's probably one of the biggest takeaways is, open your ears and close your mouth and listen to what the other side is saying.
Which I'm assuming has to do with, I think of people that are really good listeners. They're also really good at getting other people to talk, right? They ask really good questions and then they zip it. As part of that, would you say is learning how to be good at asking the right questions, get people talking?
Oh, absolutely. It's not, you want them to expand on what the point is that you're trying to learn about. So asking the right questions, leading questions. We learned a long time ago, you don't ask yes and no questions. You ask questions that will lead them down the path to reveal or give you more insight into what the true motivation of, whatever it is you're talking about is.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah. I'm seeing times in my life when I've been a good negotiator and other times that I haven't been as much. So great. Be a good listener. I love that. What would you say would be a second point, Laurie, when it comes to negotiation that you've learned both in leadership as well as just being an agent, maybe even being a mom? Like what's another important facet that we should all take on when it comes to negotiation?
Well, especially in real estate right now, it seems urgent and fast paced. And I think sometimes it's okay to take a step back and let something sit for a moment, whether it's in a conversation and just pausing. And it seems like that awkward pause, people will refer to it, but some silence is okay. Or if it's during a transaction and you get that email and you're like, oh my gosh, I really have to take care of this. Sometimes if you let it sit for a little bit of time, it irons itself out in a different way, and it gives you time to respond. It gives you time to talk to your clients, to talk to the parties involved that really are making the decisions. So it's that, don't have just a knee-jerk reaction. Yeah. Really, sit back and assess the situation, I guess is what I'm saying.
It's true. I think we live in this microwave society, right, where it's not just Amazon delivered in 2 days, it's Amazon delivered now. Like, we just want things immediate. And I think of people that have been really good at negotiating with me is it my tendency to want to fill every gap and not have any pause has probably been to my detriment at the negotiation table. The people that just let something sit and let it settle, let people think on it, is a really powerful and almost difficult in today's society skill to learn. Now I know that you have a passion for your agents, right? You do a lot for them. I would imagine that at times you're negotiating pretty strongly on their behalf. Is that true?
Oh, absolutely. Whether it's with a provider, a vendor, in order to get them some better pricing, or it's for, it's this better broadband width at the offices. It's the craziest things, but we want to provide top-notch tools, services, culture for them. So whether it's negotiating with people, with vendors, you're just always negotiating on their behalf.
Yeah, I love it. That's great that you've taken these skills that you once used with buyers and sellers to now help, your agents who are working with buyers and sellers to really remove obstacles for them.
Yeah. And I want to stay connected to that transaction with them. I don't want to be the leader who hasn't done real estate for 20 years. So it's, for me, it's vital to stay connected to the agents and know what's going on in their transactions with their buyers and sellers. What are their most recent challenges so that we can help them be better at their job to help more people.
Yeah. I know the best leaders that I've followed and worked for, some of which are right now, they mean what they say when they say, my job, I actually work for you, and my job is to remove obstacles. You have a path and ambition, and if you didn't, you wouldn't be here. And my job is simply to make it to where I can remove the obstacles to where you can get to where you want to go faster. And that's, I think, great leadership, and obviously why you've been promoted to the highest level within your organization. So good stuff. Now let's talk a little bit about this. I know there's some agents who are like, those were great points, Laurie. I need to listen, ask better questions and listen, and then be okay with some silence. Mm-hmm. But they still are wanting more help in negotiation. I know you're actually have kind of spearheaded an event coming to Portland to help people with this topic, not just to learn about it, but to get a certification around it, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. So through RE/MAX, our agents have the ability to go on RE/MAX University and take this type of education anytime they want. But I also think there's a huge value in learning in a live setting. The speaker's right there in front of you. You can collaborate with other professionals in your industry. So we are bringing the trainer in to Portland in 2 weeks, April 29th and 30th, for the real estate negotiation expert certification training. And the great news about it is this is typically a $300 course, and we were able to negotiate the price down to $150 for all the agents that will attend.
Wow. $150 off of like half price.
Right. For 2 days, 2 full days of training.
That's amazing. And you think about how marketable that would be, right? You're sitting down in a listing appointment.
Yes.
And you have like a certification. It's not just like I've got these skills and let me tell you about them, but like I'm a certified, what was it again? Certified negotiator?
Yes, real estate negotiation expert.
Okay.
Rennie.
That goes a long way, right? In differentiating yourself from others. Let me put up here on the screen, Laurie, you were kind enough to offer the RSVP link. So we'll also put this in the show notes, but here it is, negotiation class. And you said April 29th and 30th?
Yes, so it's a Monday, Tuesday, 9 to 5, both days, box lunch included, and it's at the Crown Plaza in Lake Oswego, so a very central, easy to get to location, good environment, and we have a room for about 100 people, so I would register sooner than later.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Great stuff, Laurie. Well, I want to thank you for pouring into the Think Bigger audience today. One last question, and you totally weren't prepared for this, but obviously you're a big thinker, or you wouldn't have risen to the heights that you have. What's one tip you could give to the audience today that would help them kind of think bigger and expand their own possibilities?
I'm an avid podcast listener, so I start every morning with a different podcast, whether it's on leadership or on real estate sales, on, meditation. It's to grow yourself. So like a training course, that's one method of growing your personal self, and then that enhances your business. But I'm just an avid believer in personal growth, and not just listening, but then putting, one of those things into action on a regular basis. So even doing something like this with you, everybody's terrified of video and being out there in the public eye. I might look ridiculous, but you've just got to stretch yourself and go for it. So I appreciate you, letting me have this opportunity.
Yeah, no, you bet. And hopefully the Think Bigger real estate show is now on your list, and you'll be able to share our friends and say, hey, I'm on it. I'm a big thinker.
Exactly.
So, thank you again so much, Laurie, for being on the show, and thanks to the audience for tuning in today. Yeah. And I hope everybody goes and signs up for that class, and maybe Laurie starts finding ways to do double-decker seating or something to where we can get more people in there. So it'll be a great event for sure. Thank you so much, Laurie. Appreciate it. And again, thanks again, everybody.
Great.
And go think bigger. I love it.